All right, everyone. The plot thickens with regards to the case against George Allen Kelly. This is the Arizona rancher. I've mentioned him a couple of times, including on stream. He was charged with first-degree premeditated murder. He shot and killed an individual, an illegal, that was crossing through his property. And the circumstances at first, we knew basically nothing beyond that. So I said, this may be they're profiling him for woke reasons. It may or may not have been self-defense. We're not exactly sure what went on, how many people were involved, where it was, and so I kept an open mind. It appears now, when I look at the case, that he's likely to be exonerated. First, they've downgraded the first-degree murder charge to second-degree murder. So we're no longer talking about premeditation. Of course, at his age, it would still probably be a de facto life sentence. You get 15 years in prison, and you're in your mid-70s, time does pass. But I don't think he'll be found guilty of that because the dovetailed lesser charges of aggravated assault involve people that were willing to testify against him. These are also illegal immigrants, so that can cause a jury potentially to distrust what they say, just being clear. They do not claim that they were actually assaulted. Their claim boils down to, we felt we were being hunted by this individual. After he had shot their compatriot, they felt that he was going to attempt to kill them as well. They felt hunted. How you can charge aggravated assault when this is happening on your own property and you have not actually made physical contact of any kind with these individuals, that seems like a stretch, but the entire case at this point does too. They're no longer saying that Mr. Kelly premeditated the murder. They're saying that it was negligent and vicious and mean, but he didn't go out of his house with the specific goal of killing somebody. Well, that shatters the case, because unless that preambled the situation, you've got a situation where an armed George Allen Kelly, I guess, was surprised to see someone running across his field. He could have been running towards Mr. Kelly. If that turns out to be the case, slam dunk, cut and dry, he's exonerated. Only if he shot this individual in the back does it become a legal problem for him at this time, because of course, if he's saying, and he does in his case, in his defense, hey, I had also fired warning shots prior at people that were carrying AK-47s across my property. They came across the border, they were armed, I fired warning shots, and in hopes of driving them off. By the way, firing warning shots itself is legally not usually a good idea. Boogie, take heed. Therefore, this is an ongoing problem. By the way, this individual had crossed the border illegally several times prior, the one that Kelly shot. Unless he had issued a verbal warning to them and they started to run and he fired anyway, in which case you do have murder, I can't see how he gets charged. He's on his own property. The individual's not even entitled to be in the United States, had been deported several times. At some point, I think, doesn't that become felonious in nature anyway? And may have advanced upon him, may have threatened him. We don't have any clue. We do need more details before we determine that, but the fact that the state figured it couldn't prove the premeditation, so Kelly didn't look out his window, see people crossing his property, say, you know what, fuck it, enough is enough, grab his gun and go out there with blood in his eyes. That's not what happened. It's no longer being claimed by the state. The main witnesses involved that will have to describe in detail what actually happened may not even be conceived of as reliable, because of the fact that the assault charges don't follow an assault and the fact that they were illegally there. The fact that you felt like someone was hunting you is not assault. I can feel like you're stalking me. Let's say I'm walking down the street. Some sketchy dude in a trench coat walks out and starts following me for 3 or 4 blocks. If I believe that the individual is stalking me, I can call the cops and say, hey, there's a sketchy dude following me. I don't know what he's up to. He's been following me for 3 or 4 blocks. He's wearing a trench coat, and I don't know if he's wearing anything else underneath it. And looks like he's carrying duct tape. Hey, I'm on the corner of 1st and 2nd here. Can you maybe swing by and do a wellness check or some shit like that? Look for me on the news. Yeah, you can do that. Can you turn around and shoot the person for it? No. Can you file a criminal case against them for stalking you? Well, you haven't determined that they're stalking you. You think that, you perceive it that way, but you can't launch a civil case against the person and say, well, I felt like I was being stalked. It just wouldn't hold up in a court. Those charges will be dropped. I think they probably dovetailed those in so that if the jury doesn't believe that he committed murder, that maybe they'll say, well, but we just don't like the fact that he did kill someone, so we'll give him one of the aggravated assault charges. By the way, this does happen in the legal system. It's not supposed to, but it does. I have a feeling based on the current evidence, there's a better than 50-50 chance of him being let go of. They might even drop the case, like it might not even go before the full court. The judge might say, look, there's no evidence of any of this shit. I've got a couple of witnesses that I can't consider reliable, so lodging charges that can't possibly be conceived of as legitimate. You've downgraded your own charge. You've established that he didn't premeditate anyway. Unless, again, when the forensic report is shown to the judge, if it shows that George Allen Kelly hit him in the chest or in the head from the front, I don't see how they can possibly find him guilty. Yeah, he killed someone. He can argue self-defense, and if the witnesses can't countermand him in a reliable manner, this was their friend that just got shot, they might have been narco-related or something, and they're illegally in the country, that's going to be really difficult. They might have difficulty even convincing the case to go forward, let alone actually indict him, find him guilty. I just think that's maybe a long shot at this point. Again, at first, I had to be very open-minded because we had none of these details. Now that I'm seeing the details coming in, it's painting a more broad picture of the situation, although there are still a few missing. There are still a few holes in the plot. They need to be filled out at some point for the public. That's about all. Peace out.